So that's what we're going to get to, is how to spend that time doing that. Now let's go through the 4 pillars that I gave you of a top producer first. First of all, the ability to build rapport. Why is it that one person can make a sales call on one lead and get someone saying, you know what, I'm not interested, do not call me back, take me off your list, and the next person can pick up the phone even 5 minutes later and make a sale on that presentation? Well, the biggest difference in that is, and we all know that that can happen, as Zig Ziglar once put it, the most important part of the sales process is the salesperson. So the salesperson and what you put out there to the prospect is what's going to make the difference in how they perceive you and how they frame the interaction. If you say something in the first 15 seconds of the conversation that makes them classify you as the used car salesman or just a salesperson who's trying to sell them something, rather than someone who has a qualified professional, as a matter of routine professionalism, is offering them a service or something that will benefit them, then they're going to classify you as that salesperson. They're going to try to get off the phone with you as soon as possible. And if you're able to keep them on the phone, they're going to suck your time, and they're going to suck your time. They're going to give you maybes, and you're going to just chase them into oblivion. And hopefully you won't make a sale, because if you do make a sale, then you're going to think it was all worth it. And it never, ever is. So you want to spend all of your time talking to qualified prospects who have a high likelihood of making your sale. The way you do that is you build rapport quickly. In the first 15 seconds of an interaction, you want to establish yourself, like I said, as a professional who, as a matter of routine professionalism, is doing this. How do you do that? By talking about them and their needs and the benefits of your product to them, rather than talking about you, your company, what you've done. I see so many salespeople call someone and say, hi, I'm from company ABC, and listen, we've been in the business in the community since 1902, and we blah, 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 and I was just wondering if, you could use anything like this. Well, first of all, you talked about yourself, and they really don't care about you. People care about themselves and what you can offer them. That is it. Get that into your head. No one cares about your sales career except you and maybe your family. But people out there, your prospects, care about what you can do for them. So if you start your conversation leading with the benefits of what you're doing, you greet them in a professional manner, but not in an overly professional manner, but in a friendly, high energy tone that talks about the benefits to them, then they will be able to, then that you will have rapport instantly. A good example of this is when we call on a qualified lead. If you're not calling qualified leads, there's a way to do it, but I recommend that you find a way to get people to contact you and ask you for help. If you're not that's not where you're at yet, you can integrate the principles I've just given you. Talk about the customer first, but I recommend that any salesperson, in order to save yourself time, find a way to get people to contact you asking you for information about your product, and that's marketing. If you're not, if you don't have a marketing system and you don't want to be a marketing person, team up with someone who's good at marketing and good at lead generation. But we get highly qualified leads into our company. So what we do is we call them and say, hi, I'm so-and-so with XYZ company. And the reason I'm calling today is because you requested some information on XYZ. And I just want to let you know I have some good news. It looks like we're probably going to be able to help you to reach your goal, but I have a few questions to ask you to make sure that everything that you do qualify for all this, and I'm wondering if you have a few minutes to talk with us. Now, notice that I framed the conversation in that you ask us to contact you. So I am automatically not a salesperson trying to sell them something. I am someone responding to their inquiry, and this makes all the difference in the world. You asked me to help you, so I'm calling you. The reason for this whole call is you started it. I'm not a salesperson just calling you out of the blue, trying to do something. So many people get good qualified leads and call them and act like they're cold calling. Now, you cannot do that. So I framed the conversation like that. And then I talked about, it looks like I'm going to be able to assist you in reaching your goal, but as a routine professional, as a professional doing his routine job, I have to ask you some questions and make sure what I can help you to qualify to receive. So that's how you greet and frame the conversation. And instantly, in those first 10 seconds, I have built rapport by establishing myself not as the traditional salesperson, but as a professional who, as a matter of routine professionalism, is calling them based on a request that they sent in to us and helping them to assist the goals that they set out to achieve themselves. And any way you can frame your conversation that reaches those criteria will help you dramatically. So, okay, Captain, you're going to have to calm down. Captain's over here wanting me to pet him right now. So, that's how you build rapport quickly. The second thing is to qualify instantly. Within the first 5 minutes of your conversation, you need to figure out if this is a person who, first of all, will qualify for your product. You know, we have scripts that are well designed that cover all the emotional triggers, all the psychological triggers, and everything else necessary to lead the person from a not interested or possibly interested into making a buying decision over the course of a 45-minute to 60-minute conversation. We have that scripted out 100% entirely. And in that, we have the qualification criteria. Well, you need to make sure that someone is going to be able to buy your product. If we're selling health insurance, which we sell, and someone cannot qualify for the coverage, they have a pre-existing health condition or something that they can't have, our heart goes out to them, but really, we're not the people for them to be talking to. So we need to send them on their way, quit taking up their time, let them get back to themselves and their families, and trying to find the real solutions that they need if we can't help them. But second of all, the ability to qualify goes way beyond that. It goes on to being, is this someone I want to talk to or not? Is this someone who has a high likelihood of buying my product? Let's face it, we all know there's some people out there who we just don't connect with. Maybe another salesperson will connect with them. But maybe this person is just someone who doesn't trust anybody. Maybe it's someone who's bored and likes to talk to salespeople. And there are a ton of people out there who are very lonely and will talk to salespeople as much as possible, but will not ever end up buying your product. As a professional, as a top-level producer, you need to learn to qualify quickly. That means, can they afford your product, or are they able to buy your product, and is there a high likelihood of them buying your product if you continue the conversation? So not only are you qualifying them to be able to buy your product, but you're qualifying them to be worthy of your time. And that, again, it's the most valuable commodity you have as a salesperson is your time. And so you want to make sure that they are worthy of your time before you talk to them. If they're not, you want to get off the phone with them quickly. And this is something I call breaking up with your prospects. We've all been in a relationship with a member of the opposite sex. For some of you, it may have been many, many years ago. Some of it may have been yesterday. But we've all been in a relationship with the opposite sex, or even in friendships, or even sometimes in family relationships, where it's better to just break up and move on your own ways. It's better for everyone to do that because you're just not a fit. And the top producers have a radar mechanism for understanding if this person is a fit, not only for the product, but for them personally to see if it's going to work out. Now, don't use that as an excuse not to give every prospect your best effort, your best attention, but sometimes you know that this person will just suck up all your time, and you need to get off the phone with them because, and your critical point is when you're talking to them, say, do I have a better chance of calling another lead and getting a sale than I do talking to this person? Or would I better spend my time calling and doing a service call on my customers to see how well they're doing and then asking them for referrals? Would that result in a better chance of me getting a sale than my present course? And if the answer is yes to that, you need to get off the phone politely but immediately and move on.